All right. Hello, everybody. I am Christian,
I'm Adriana.
And I'm Diana.
and welcome to Long Beach Fort's 2020 Census FAQ video. So in honor of Census Month, we'll be discussing about what to expect when you're filling out the census. And we hope after talking about this, participating in the census will be a lot easier for you all. So we're going to go through each of the 12 questions today, and we're just going to talk about what to expect when you're answering those questions. What are they exactly asking for? That way, when you fill out the census, it'll be a quick 10 minutes or even less, and so that you can get counted. So with that, Adriana is going to start us off with the first question.
All right. Hi, everyone. The first question will ask how many people were living or staying in your house, apartment, or mobile home on April 1st, 2020, which is Census Day. This is the reference date for the 2020 census, and the Bureau uses this date to determine who is counted and where. Even though Census Day has passed, you are still able to fill out the form. We encourage you to fill it out as soon as possible.
Awesome. Thank you, Adriana. So pretty much in summary, however many people are in that household by April 1st, that's the number you want to put in.
Yeah. And
Diana, would you?
question two asks if there's any additional people staying in your house. So that means you include any family members, include babies and children, and other roommates or housemates that are not your family but live with you.
All right, cool. And that covers question number 2.
Yeah, question number 3 will ask what kind of housing you currently reside in, as in, do you live in a house, in an apartment, or a mobile home, and if you are the owner.
All right, awesome.
And then question 4 asks for your telephone number, and this is simply just in case the Census Bureau has any questions about your census form.
All right, cool. So just in summary of the last 4 questions. So the first question asks how many people are in that household by April 1st. And the second question asks if there's any additional people staying in your home on April 1st that you didn't include in the previous question. The third question will ask what type of housing you currently live in. And question number 4 will ask for your telephone number.
Yeah, pretty basic information.
So question 5 is a multi-layered question about person 1. It will first ask who pays the rent or owns the residence, and you start by listing them as person 1. If the owner or the person who paid there as person 1. This will be followed by a question about their sex, and then there will be 2 questions about each person's identity. For this census, Hispanic is not considered a race. Hispanic can be viewed as the heritage, nationality, lineage, or country of birth of the person or the person's parents or ancestors before arriving to the United States. People who identify as Hispanic or Latinx can be a variety of racial backgrounds. So in society, race is often used to define someone by their skin color, as well as physical, social, or biological features. The options included in the 2020 census are white, African American or Black, Native American, Asian, Native Hawaiian or Pacific Islander, and the last one is some other race. Ethnicity, however, refers to cultural factors, including nationality, regional culture, ancestry, and language. Overall, this question can be tricky, and we acknowledge that the way it is written this decade is not accurate in capturing the multitudes of identities in this country. While working with community members, we have heard that some don't even see themselves reflected in the categories listed. Overall, this question can be tricky, and we acknowledge that the way it is written this decade is still not accurate in capturing the multitudes of identities in this country. While working with community members, we have heard that some don't even see themselves reflected in the categories that are provided, and therefore input some other race into for this question, which is actually the 3rd largest group behind white and African American. So that means that there is still a lot of advocacy for change needed in the census. This is why we've come together at the local, state, and federal levels to continue to push for the federal government to do better in accounting for all of our backgrounds, as well as providing us with the resources that are informed of those experiences.
Yeah, these last couple of questions can be difficult to fill out. You may not see yourself represented there, but it's still a questionnaire that affects your life, your family, and your community. So it's crucial to fill out as much as you can, just for the benefit of everyone and everything.
Yeah, and I thank you both for talking about this race question in particular because, for Adriana talking about the differences between race and ethnicity, that's the reason why it could be so confusing because race and ethnicity are two completely different things. However, we just really want to emphasize to just do your best and try to identify yourself racially as best as you can, no matter how confusing it is, because it's still important to get counted, and it's still important to represent yourself on the census as best as you can, so that we get the funding that we deserve.
Yeah.
Question 7 will ask what the one's age is as of census day and what their date of birth is. When including information about babies later on in the form, if they are less than a year old, do not write the age in months. You just write 0 as the age. The U.S. Census Bureau creates these statistics to better understand the size and characteristics of different age groups. Agencies use this data to plan and fund government programs that support specific age groups, including children and older adults.
Yeah, and question 10 moves on to the rest of the people that live in your household, meaning you start with a question about person 2. The question identifies the next person to refer to the ensuing question that we just went through for person 1, and it just repeats for everybody else that lives in your house.
Yeah, and just as a reminder, please include all children, all babies, all non-relatives living in your home on these forms. Make sure you ask them about their information also.
Yes.
So we hope that this simplifies the responding to the census. It takes 10 minutes of your time to fill out these questions that will affect the next 10 years of your life and your family's life and your community. And we want to emphasize that all of your information is protected by law. It cannot be used against you or any government agency like ICE, CPS, FBI, or CIA. We thank you for taking time to watch this video, and we hope you have a great day.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.